It's been nearly 20 years since J.K. Rowling first saw Harry's image in her mind while riding a train from Manchester to London, and during those past 2 decades, 12 publishers have turned down Harry Potter, including Penguin, Transworld, and HarperCollins, except Bryony Evans of the Christopher Little Literary Agency. It was the unique black cover Rowling used to hold her 3 sample chapters that piqued Evans' curiosity and prompted her to start reading, and eventually printed a first round of 500 copies. Arthur Levin from Scholastic stumbled upon the first Harry Potter book at a book fair, and decided to take the chance and paid an unprecedented amount of $105,000 for the US rights to publish Harry Potter. Since then, the series has sold over 400 million copies worldwide, and have been translated into 64 languages. Today, the Harry Potter brand is estimated to be worth $4 billion. So, what is Harry Potter about? The novels revolve around Harry Potter, an orphan who discovers at the age of 11 that he is a wizard, living within the ordinary world of non-magical people, known as muggles. His ability is inborn, and such children are invited to attend an exclusive magic school that teaches the necessary skills to succeed in the wizarding world. Harry becomes a student at the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and is here where most of the events in the series takes place. As Harry develops through his adolescence, he learns to overcome the problems that face him: magical, social, and emotional, including ordinary teenage challenges such as friendship, infatuations, exams, and the even greater test of preparing himself for the confrontation in the real world that lies ahead. The series is distributed by Warner Bros. And consists of 8 fantasy films, beginning with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in 2001 and ending with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 in 2011. Each film is among the 50 highest grossing films and received critical acclamation, with an astounding 7.7 billion total gross worldwide. The film received generally favorable reviews from critics and users alike, particularly on Tomatometer, where there was a whopping 5.2 million average user reviews across the series.
Do you know, Ian McKellen was offered the role of Dumbledore, but he turned it down and said,
"I'm Gandalf the Grey, not Dumbledore." There has since been various changes made during the adaptation process. Looking through various sources and forums online, the adaptation process has seen significant changes to the original storyline. Some has been beneficial to the film, while others have been detrimental. Let's look through some of the beneficial ones. In the book, Harry not only sees his parents in the mirror of Eris, but many other relatives in the mirror as well. However, portraying him just looking at his parents makes it much more intimate and further emphasizes the loneliness and the tragedy of being an orphan. Also, having the change of Sirius showing Harry the photo of the original Order members instead of Mad-Eye Moody was much more appropriate and meaningful. It was a tender moment between the godson and godfather that worked well on screen to establish their close relationship in a short amount of time. Now, let's talk about the bad! In the film, neither Neville nor Ginny are in the compartment with Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Lupin when the Dementors came into the train like in the book. The way in which both of them react is very relevant later on. Neville's backstory of his parents wasn't revealed, and Ginny, having been possessed by Tom Riddle in the movie, wasn't re-emphasized. Also, in the movie, Cho pecked Harry in private, whereas in the book it occurs in front of the entire Gryffindor common room, and it's very passionate and spontaneous. Also, in the book, they officially started dating, and then Harry breaks up with her just because he wanted to protect her and knows that he has to go hunt for the Horcruxes, while in the movie they never actually got started.
do you know, the least successful Harry Potter film, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, made 90 million more than the most successful Twilight movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Despite our mixed opinions on whether the changes were good, it's unarguable that the Harry Potter franchise is deemed a success. So, how did the Harry Potter franchise succeed? The basic story in Harry Potter is an old and good one. The boy of destiny is plucked from ordinary circumstances and becomes truly incredulous when he's told the truth behind his real identity. Through a series of trials and obstacles, he emerges a true hero ready to defeat the ultimate evil, Voldemort. The success of the Harry Potter series were not built on Rowling's ability to craft a narrative, but her ability to craft a world. The movies have given the tale the kind of narrative drive and attention to the tone that the books lacked. Also, the simplicity and narrative drive of Hollywood script was just what the series had called for. How Rowling tells us about this world is fun and entertaining. People are always looking for something to believe in and connect with, and Harry Potter filled that void. Whether or not the consumers realized that void existed, they felt connected to Harry Potter, and that relationship with the product and brand created a deep sense of loyalty very quickly. People became invested in the Harry Potter story and had feelings for their products. So, what magic did Harry cast on us? Have you ever thought that your health could be affected by books and movies? Here's how. Harry's solidarity with the much maligned mudbloods helped children to understand the importance of tolerance and the acceptance in a social setting. Researchers from the Lancaster University found that preschoolers who watched the Potter movies displayed enhanced imagination and creativity. Aside from those, let's now take a look at the economical factors that led to the success of the Harry Potter franchise. Viral and social media marketing was one of the factors. By listening to what customers were saying about the brand online, the marketing team could adjust their marketing strategies and tactics to best meet customers' demands and message perceptions or messages to meet the needs of the business. For example, when fans spoke up against the possible death of Harry Potter in the final book, J.K. Rowling and the team behind Harry Potter brand responded elusively, thereby elevating the buzz through careful planning and tease marketing. Besides understanding the needs and wants of her audience, she takes it a step further in ensuring the sustainability of the Harry Potter brand image. To ensure the market would not be saturated with Harry Potter merchandises, she did not allow the McDonald's Happy Meal to carry its merchandise despite it being extremely lucrative. In short, there are three main factors that differentiate Rowling's Harry Potter series to those of similar genres. Firstly, a linear series, which the book and movies alike has left fans wanting for more, and feeling emotionally connected to the story and characters, allowing the marketing team behind the brand to leverage tease and perpetual marketing. Secondly, limiting brand extensions. As a brand guardian, J.K. Rowling allowed the Harry Potter brand to be extended, but only in ways that she could control, thereby retaining the brand image and reducing the potential of saturating the market and diluting the brand. Thirdly, through the word-of-mouth marketing, the internet and social networking allow for the buzz of the Harry Potter brand to grow to a historic level. We'll now move on to the next book.
So now we'll be discussing on Lord of the Rings as examples of good adaptations from books to film. The Lord of the Rings is a 3-volume high fantasy novel written by famous English author J.R.R. Tolkien. It started as a sequel to his earlier work, The Hobbit, published in 1937. Seeing Hobbit as a success, the publishers George Allen and Unwin requested sequels to be written by him. He started writing The Lord of the Rings at the age of 45 and only finished it 12 years later in 1949. For those who have not heard or watched it, basically here's what the story is about. In the lands of Middle-earth, the Dark Lord Sauron forged a ring of power to control all the peoples and creatures of the Middle-earth. The ring was taken from him and fell into the hands of Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit from the Shire, a place of complete innocence. The ring was then passed on to young hobbit Frodo Baggins, with one task set before him, to destroy the Ring of Power. Frodo begins his perilous journey through the lands with a fellowship that will protect him on his mission. Their mission, to destroy the Ring of Power in the only place it can be destroyed, the fires of Mount Doom.
Do you know, Tolkien sold the film rights to The Lord of the Rings in 1969 for 10,000 pounds.
Okay.
Tolkien initially intended to publish the entire book as a single volume, but decided to split them into 3 volumes largely due to post-war paper shortages. Another reason was also to keep the price of the first volume down so that more people would be able to afford it. The 3 volumes are namely The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. The first volume, The Fellowship of the Ring, was published on the 29th of July 1954 in the United Kingdom. The second volume, The Two Towers, was published on 11 November 1954. The third and final volume of the novel, The Return of the King, was published on the 20th October 1955. Other than English language, the novel was also being translated into at least 38 other languages to cater to a larger group of audiences. Let's now look at some of the statistics on what the readers think of the book. An online analysis was conducted using anonymized aggregated data across de-identified samples of over 130,000 status updates, matching 10 books or 10 books appearing in the last 2 weeks of August 2014. As the statistics have shown, the novel Lord of the Rings are ranked third in the analysis with a result of 13.86, falling behind Harry Potter series as well as To Kill a Mockingbird. Overall, the Lord of the Rings novel was very well received and accumulated more than 150 million book sales across all of its volumes over the years. That approximately add up more than 2.9 billion gross sales. According to Blogography Online, there are a few possible reasons why the book Lord of the Rings was so popular. First, it has a fascinating stories with numerous subplots, which draws readers and get them involved in the quests and fortunes of the various characters. Secondly, there's also a real character development for the story. The story doesn't just rely on actions, but on moral choices that characters face and how they respond to different challenges. Each of the characters is very human and believable that draws people into their stories and adventure. Thirdly, there's an incredible depth and scope to the story. The history of Middle-earth gives a sense of parallel world complete with its own mythology and ancient history. The intriguing interplay between the good and evil also somehow draws the reader's interest into the storyline. The struggle between the forces of good and evil serve as a powerful reminder of the inherent evolutionary natures of the world that nothing can stay static. Lastly, the story shows man's capacity for good deeds and self-sacrifice, which tends to draw a higher degree of interest. After understanding the success of the novel, let us now move on to the analysis of the film. The first series of the novel, The Fellowship of the Ring, was released as a movie on 18 December 2001, directed by Peter Jackson and distributed by New Line Cinema. The subsequent series, The Two Towers and The Return of the King, was released a year after another. The film was shot entirely in New Zealand, which is also Jackson's native country. With a budget of 281 million, the entire project took 8 years, with the filming of all 3 series done simultaneously. Hence, it was considered one of the biggest and most ambitious film ever made. Lord of the Rings is ranked one of the highest grossing film series of all time. Although the sales figure reflects a high degree of success to the film, it cannot give an accurate levels of success to the adaptations. Let's now look at some of the ratings and reviews given by the audiences. The following ratings are gathered across the trilogy. As we can see, overall the films are very well received by the audience. Let us now look at the film and the book as a whole. While the film followed the book's general storyline, they do omit some of the novel's plot elements and include some additional to and deviations from the source material. Following are some differences across the trilogy. After the prologue of The Fellowship of the Ring, the extended version of the film opened up with Bilbo starting work on his book, There and Back Again. He then proceeds to write about Hobbit society. In the book, information about hobbits is conveyed through narrations. In the first passage in which Bilbo appears, he is making preparations for his party. This change is a cinematic way to introduce the audience to hobbits. However, these scenes requires the scriptwriters to invent dialogues that Tolkien did not write. In the film, Sam smacks Gollum in the head with a pen when Frodo and Sam first capture him. In the book, Sam uses his pen only for stealing a rabbit. For the film, this is a welcome bit of comic relief that is in keeping with Sam's character. However, the bad side is that it's merely the inventions of the filmmakers, as Sam did not really do that in the book. In The Return of the King, Merry offers his sword to King Theoden outside the Golden Hall at Edoras. However, in the book, Merry does this inside the Hall of Hornbird at mealtime. The change of locale gives the scenes more visual impact. However, this change is an invention of the scriptwriters and does not represent Tolkien's work. We simply extracted 3 of the differences across the trilogy as an example, although there are many of it. Overall, there are definitely pros and cons to the changes made to the film versions. The success of the film definitely have shown that the most of the changes made was cleverly done and executed to make the story more suitable for the film.
Do you know? Tolkien typed all 1200 pages of Lord of the Rings with 2 fingers.
Say what?
It is clear that The Lord of the Rings is a huge success simply looking at the box office sales and audience reviews. Hence, let us now look at the reasons for the success of the adaptations. The novel itself already have an in-depth stories with numerous subplots together with a real character development. All of these strengths from the novels aid the success to a certain extent. The already existing fan base from the novel also helped to a huge degree, building a strong foundations for the adaptations of the novel. According to Watts Culture, there are other reasons that leads to the success of the film. The film took a size and scale that is never once done before, involving battles with thousands of participants, making it simply remarkable and astonishing for the audience. Even simple scenes like walking by the ruins on the mountainside was made breathtaking. Another huge factor to the success was the music made for the film. Every civilization has their own distinct musical quality and each moment is brilliantly underscored and supported by the music. In many ways, the Lord of the Rings soundtrack is its own colossal masterpiece with over 10 hours of music recorded for the trilogy. Realistic visuals also play a huge role in the film. Jackson's used the versatile environment of his native New Zealand to incredible effects, finding natural environment that perfectly captured Tolkien's world. He also employed unique practical effects as well as groundbreaking computer effects in the film. The result of blending different styles of filmmaking worked flawlessly, creating one of the most visually astonishing films ever made. Overall, the adaptation was done meticulously to ensure every single detail was taken into consideration, rendering the success of the film. Moving on, the success of The Lord of the Rings has brought about an economic boost to the New Zealand industry. According to the General Manager of Western Long Haul Market for Tourism New Zealand, Greg Anderson, there has been a 50% increase in arrival to New Zealand since The Lord of the Rings, given a boost to the tourism industry. Tourism was not the only sectors benefited from the film. Employment sectors was also benefited in New Zealand as the film brought about an increase in jobs with studios created or co-owned by Jacksons, which include Weta Workshop, Stone Street Studios, Park Road Post Productions and others.